Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen me already, my name's Liv, I'm 26, I live in Bedfordshire and I have my own YouTube channel. I'm also a toddler mum to my little boy who's 2 years old, Arlo. Every Sunday I do reset videos which are usually like cleaning, decluttering resets, but today, because it's a new month, September is just about to start, it's right around the corner, I thought I'd do a little bit of a different type of reset, and I put together a few resources as well for you, and I thought I would just take you through how I reset for a new month. It's all well and good resetting your space and cleaning your space, but there's so much more to resetting for a new month. And that involves things like resetting in terms of self-care, like for example, getting my nails done, got my nails done today, ready for the new month, but also doing little things like reflection on previous months, setting goals for your new month of things you want to achieve, things didn't go so well last month, things that you want to improve on this month. Resetting things like getting your big food shop in. I do it every month, like I just do a big food shop, getting my tins, getting stuff in my cupboards, ready to stock up for the month ahead. But also I feel like it's important to use this time now to plan for the next month. And I have put together a few resources for you which I'll be sharing with you throughout this video that are totally free. I've just made them for you guys. So the first thing to do when you're approaching a new month, especially the colder months like September, it's starting to get a bit colder, the seasons are changing, fall is coming, pumpkin spice lattes are well on their way, so it's time to have a bit of a declutter and minimise your space. Especially if you're a mum, you will know how quickly you can just accumulate things and just have such a mass of material things that you don't need that actually just add to your stress and your pressure. So the first thing that I like to do when a season is changing is change out my wardrobe, put all the summer things away, and I put them usually into like little bags that zip up, or I can do like vacuum bags, and I like to put everything away that's summery because summer's behind us, it's time to move on. It is time to move on. You might want to keep like one dress out or something just in case we get a warm day, but the autumnal weather is definitely on its way. Like today, for example, it is absolutely freezing. I've had to get my chunky knit out, but I think it's really good just to take all the summery things out of your wardrobe and get them vacuumed up, ready for next year, and then you can just use that space in your wardrobe to add all of your autumn stuff and start buying new seasonal stuff if that's what you want to do as well. Another thing that I like to do at the start of each month is declutter as much as possible, and that could be in terms of like your clothing, like I've started to do already, but also your house. Throughout the month, lots of things can get dumped. I know it's the same for me, like for example, I've had some candles and packages just left on my table over here. But now is the time to make that change and to get that stuff where it needs to be and give it a home. Like for example, I was finding that my drawers in my kitchen were becoming like a dumping ground, a really big dumping ground. So what I actually did, I got some clear containers from Wilko. Really sad about Wilko closing down, by the way, but some clear containers from Wilko, and I've just popped like my sunglasses all in one. I know that's my sunglasses home. I know that's where they need to go. And then the same for candles. Candles has got its own designated zone, and actually having a home for something and where it needs to go, where it belongs, helps you like stop the clutter. Like for example, I can see some sellotape over on my window. I know that's got a home down in those drawers. So that's the best thing to do. Have an actual home for it, have a place for it, have room to grow as well in your drawers, and declutter as much as possible. Even if you need to bag some things up, like toys that the kids don't use anymore, go donate it or go put it in your loft. Doing something like that and just clearing a bit of space is going to do absolute wonders for your mind. So definitely try and do that if you can. category that you will need to complete for resetting and getting ready for the month ahead is life admin, and this could be in terms of paying your bills, in terms of booking things in the calendar, for example, like putting dentist appointments, putting appointments in your diary ready so you know exactly what you're going to be doing throughout the month and everything is right in front of you. Something I like to do on my phone is, if you have an iPhone you can do this, I'm sure there's an equivalent for like a Samsung, but you can add a family setting in your calendar so it can link to your partner's iPhone and you can be seeing the same calendar. This is great, for example, if me, Mikey and Arlo have got like, I don't know, a family dinner or something, and you don't want them to forget about it, so you can just pop it in the calendar and then straight away it will zap through to your partner's calendar, and it's a great way of keeping track of different activities and different events that are happening so they don't get forgotten about. I also find that when I'm planning, like in terms of budgets and things like that, it's really good to use like banking apps that have a system, like a flagging system. So for example, the Monzo app, which I have, you can categorize your money and your spend. You can see how much you spent on, for example, buying clothes last month, and then this month you can adjust that and try and make sure that you are like sticking within your remit. And it's a good way to plan, a good way to reflect, and also it's really nice to see it visually, which you don't get with banking apps like HSBC and stuff. And I also think that it's a really good idea to plan within your month, or within your calendar month, to have like a no spend day or a few no spend days, like one weekend day where you're just going to do arts and crafts, you're just going to go for walks, and use up the foods that you have in your fridge, and just challenge yourself to try and do like a no spend day. So we did that the other day and it was actually really fun, and we had such a good like wholesome day. Just like me and Mikey were just sitting on the floor with Arlo doing arts and crafts, and we went out for a really nice long walk. And I think no spend days are a really fun challenge, so I definitely recommend doing that if you are on a budget or if you just want to try it out. And by no means, guys, are these like I'm saying you need to do this, you need to do that. These are just helpful little hints and tips that you can try to do, and obviously you putting steps in motion and actually thinking about these things, watching this type of video, is already setting yourself up to have that positive mindset to get yourself prepared and get yourself in the best possible energy and vibe for the next month ahead. So the next thing that I like to do, especially when the season is changing, is I like to create a Pinterest board just to visualize and just have a vision of what I want my month to look like. And I think this is really important, because without manifesting and without actually physically knowing in front of you what you want your month to look like, it's actually really hard to achieve that. So for example, this month I know that I want to have lots of autumnal walks, I want to have lots of pumpkin spice lattes, I want all the cozy vibes, candles, and I also want to be able to focus on my career this month. It's like a really big thing for me. I've got back into work after having a little bit of time off, and I am getting back into teaching. So I know that these are all the things that I want to achieve from my month ahead. So I'm going to create a little vision board just to visualize what I want the month to look like. And I would really recommend doing this, because it just helps you tune in and actually work out exactly what you want to do, and then you can think about, how am I going to achieve that? Because there's no point saying you want to do something without having a plan in how you want to achieve that. So you can really think about what you need to do to get those steps to achieve the things you want to achieve this month. The next thing that I want you to do, and this is probably one of the first things you should be doing, is reflecting on the previous month and planning in terms of dates, big events that are happening, and also getting together like some form of a list of things you want to complete in this month. Now, there are lots of planners out there, but what I have done for you is create a free resource, and I've even put like little leaves in it and stuff to make it autumnal, but I've created a resource around what I think would be helpful in terms of a list and what I will be using this month. So I'm just going to pop up on the screen what we have here. This is the September planner that I've created. So this can just be downloaded as a PDF and printed out, and you can just stick it on your fridge or put it in your diary or whatever you want to do. And it's basically got all of the calendar days, so you can just mark out important things that are going on. You could also highlight in different colours, like things that are going on for the kids, things that are going on for you. It's actually really important to colour code when you're doing these sort of things, because you can visually see where you're lacking and where you are overcompensating. For example, I know that Arlo's always got loads more things going on than I do, but I think it's important to try and see that, recognise that, and try and achieve some balance. And also that's why I like to put the goals for the month down the bottom, just so you can do things like, for example, this month I want to really focus on drinking water. I'm awful at drinking water. So that's something that's important to me. And making my bed, it can be as silly as doing that. Like, it's not silly, but it is silly to some people. But something like that for me turns my day around. If I make my bed, I know I'm gonna have a good day, and I don't do it enough. So that's gonna be something that I'm gonna be working on this month. I've also made a separate column on this sheet for you to say things I'm doing for me, so we can actually see what we're doing for ourselves, because that is so important, to make time for yourself. I've also created a resource here which is acting as like a list, like a brain dump of things, because the way that my brain works, I'll be like cooking dinner and I'll be like, oh, I need to do this, or I need to do that, or oh, that picture needs to go up over there, and like things will come to me randomly. And that's why I think that if we just have a brain dump list, we can literally just chuck things down on the list as and when it comes into our brain, and we know to achieve that this month. And then it holds us accountable as well, because we've got it written down as something we need to do this month. Next resource that I've made, I love so much, and I've actually always wanted to make something like this, but I finally had the time to be able to make it, and I'll share it with you guys as well. You can download it for free. And it's a September challenge, so it's kind of like a bucket list for September, all of the September goodness. It's things like, for example, buying an autumnal drink, baking cookies, creating leaf crafts with the kids, even reminding you to do things like book the pumpkin patch or get Halloween costumes. It's a lovely little list that you can like tick off as and when, and I would love to see how your list turns out. So do make sure that you tag me on Instagram and put a picture up on your story, and I'll share anyone that's been doing the list. But yeah, it would really make me happy to see you guys use it, so please do. It did take me quite a while, but I think that it's worth it. I think that it's turned out quite well. And then lastly, the biggest thing to do when you're resetting for a new month is to clear your space and clean your space. So I like to do a big deep clean every month or so if I do have the time. Sometimes I don't have the time, but I think we should all start this month off on the right foot and try our best with everything. So I am going to give the house a big deep clean, and that includes things like the skirting boards, the windows, give everything a freshen up, everything a clean, just to put ourselves in the best possible frame of mind for the new month. And if you are someone that is struggling to keep on top of the housework, because I'm the same girl, like I'm honestly the same, I do struggle at times, and like I save my cleans for when I make videos on it, because otherwise I can't motivate myself to do it. So that would be my tip to you. Like even if you like create a TikTok or an Instagram that nobody knows about, and you just do it for yourself and you just film yourself doing things, it like helps you motivate yourself to be able to do it, if you see what I mean. It's really strange. It's like because you know people are watching you and like you want to try and get as many things done as possible. So I definitely recommend like just putting the camera on, just putting your phone camera on, and just filming. Like honestly, it really does help. But I think more than anything, like I'm saying all these things about things that you can do to help reset your month, But the most important thing is the fact you are actually thinking about these things, not necessarily doing them all. So it's just important to get your mind in the mood to like have a positive new month and just have some affirmations and manifest some positive changes that you're wanting to change this month. I really hope that this video has helped some of you. Please let me know if it has, and do let me know below if you would like the planner and the September challenge, because I think it would be really fun if we could all get involved in doing that. And the fact that you've got to the end of this video and you've watched this far just shows that you are completely dedicated in resetting for the new month and going into the new month like ready and fresh. So I think it's really positive that you've got all the way to the end, and I do wish you the best for the month ahead, whatever that may bring you. But I will love you and leave you guys. Let me know how you get on, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Nothing matters, so I cry instead.